Morning Year 4, welcome to your Thursday maths lesson. So we're going to be moving on today to looking at how to answer questions about information that's given to us in graphs, a little bit more than we were doing in the last couple. But first things first, I'm going to share my screen and I would like you to get a piece of paper or your home learning book, anything that you can write down in. And I'm going to share my screen. And we are going to do one of the MTC on Education City. So you're going to get 25 questions, you're going to get 6 seconds, and in the last couple of seconds, I'm going to put the answer up, okay, so that you can see, or I'm actually no, because it might take some of you a bit longer. So at the end, you'll see that I've got them all wrong, and I'll scroll down and you can mark them. All right, we'll do it that way, that's better. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, 2 times 9. 9 times 2. You can do this. One of the harder ones, this one, but I'm sure you've got it. Yeah, another easy one. 5 questions down, well done. Keep going. You can do it. Nice, easy. Don't worry if you miss a couple out, it's fine. Just do your best. Ooh, tricky one, think carefully. Ooh, very tricky one. Oh, you should get that. If you can't do 4 times 7, do 7 times 7. This one does fool a few of you.
And send it somewhere. One day when another mansion gets old, we're going to paint it and send it somewhere out there so much fun for that.
Just laughing at Jesus in the background, not you.
Yeah, but you have to paint it first. Yeah, even my tweed.
To bonk you over the heads virtually if you don't get this one. Bonk.
And then I will paint them. The robot is black and red.
That's one. Excellent. How did you get on? 25 out of 25? I got them all wrong. Let's have a look. You can pause it. I'm just going to scroll down for you. Okay, now you can go on there and play that any time you want to. Okay, so the other website that I've been directing you to is this one, Maths Frame, and the top right hand corner, you can log in. Okay, and then if you've got an Android tablet or if you've got an iPad tablet, if that's what you've got access to, you can choose those specific ones rather than ones to do on the computer. So if you click on home, you can choose the different categories. So you can go down here and there's different games, but if you choose tablet friendly games, so if you're working on a tablet, it can brings up lots of different ones for you. There's loads, and I know that I've been playing some of them. This one's quite popular at the moment in school when I'm with them. So if you want to, drop on there and it will really help you with different maths, all right? So today we are going to be looking at, I'm going to come over here, understanding line graphs. Now, the next thing for you to do is to pause this video and answer the two questions that you can see in front of you, and I've noticed actually year 5 and year 4, I do apologise, in the 5 a day, I've called them both circles. So circles is this one on the left hand side, and everybody else, you're on the right hand side. I copied and pasted and changed the numbers and I forgot to take circles off. So I do apologise, it's a bit too late to put it on now. Now I'm doing the video with it. I will try and go back and change it afterwards though. All right, so pause that and answer those for me. So moving on today, I want you in your book to write 3 questions you could find the answer to using this line graph that you can see. What questions could you ask? I'm going to give you a clue. Which day, what time of the day was the hottest? What else could you ask? Right, you can pause it, write them down in your home learning book, and then I'll show you. So some examples: what time was the hottest temperature? What was the temperature at 11? What was the lowest temperature? Did you write some questions that you could have answered? So looking at this one, how many centimetres did the parachute drop between 4 and 8 seconds? Now, to answer this, a bit like yesterday when we were looking at things, you need to find the 4. You go up the line of the 4 and you find where it hits the coloured line, okay, the one that's drawn across all of the times. And then you've got to go across and see that it was 170 centimetres. Then 8 seconds was 130. So you've got to find the difference between those two numbers. And you'll see that the answer is 40 centimetres. So well done. Now, true or false? The temperature at 90 seconds was half what it was at 120. So you've got to look at 90, find out what the temperature was, which was 30, and 120 is 60. So I want that in a sentence. Can you write it in a sentence? Pause it. So was that true or false? It was true. Now, if you were putting that in a sentence for me, you could say the answer is true because at 120 seconds, the temperature was 60 degrees, and at 90 seconds, it was 30, and 30 is half of 60. So you're using that mathematical language and you're trying to be able to explain. We're really working hard in school before we went into lockdown about how to extend your answers in maths and explain that you understand the maths behind it, that you're not just saying because that's the answer or because I know it, all right? So looking at the next one, how many kilometres did the rocket travel between 90 and 120 seconds? Now you can see that it's giving you a choice at the bottom. So don't just tick one that you think it is, you need to work it out. So there's 90. And you go and you look, and that's nice and easy, that's 30. But 120, you've got to look, I would say that's about halfway between. Okay, so halfway between 30 and 40 would be what? That's right, 35. So what would be the difference between 30 and 35? That's what it's asking you to do. Okay, so the answer would be 5. So now we're moving on more to the reasoning side of it. So this is where I am expecting you to do sentences for your answers, because it says, is Sam correct? Explain why. So Sam is talking about the line graph below. The difference between 10 and 30 minutes is 25 degrees C. Is Sam correct? So you need to look at 10, and I would say it's halfway, so I would say that's 50. I would look at 30, and 30 is at 20. So the difference between 50 and 20 is what? That's right, it's 30. So if you're going to explain why, Sam is not correct because the temperature at 10 degrees is 50 and the temperature at 30 degrees is 20. The difference between these two numbers is, okay, you can see an explanation there. Right, problem solving. So when you're doing the questions, I'll explain those in a minute. So problem solving. Use the graph to complete the sentence. Find all the possible answers means that there is more than one answer. Okay, so you need to have a look. Between something and something, the difference in the number of litres used is 20. Okay, so if I put the answers on, so between 0 and 200 kilometres, the difference is 20. Can you see? Because at 0, it's 0. At 200, it's 20. Between 100 and 300, so at 100, it's 10 litres used. At 300, it's 30 litres used. So you could fill it between 100 and 300. Between 200 and 400, and between 300 and 500. So they're all the possibilities. So you would have had 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences to answer that question. In which year is it most likely that a disease struck the tree? So you need to have a think about how would you know? How would you know a disease struck the tree? What's going to happen to the tree? What do you think? If the tree's not very well, what's going to happen to it? So you can see year 2 is most likely because you can see the tree stopped growing as rapidly as the other years, but year 6 also sees a decline in growth, but still grows faster than in year 2. All right, so you're really having to understand the maths and explain it. So circles today. It's not a choice of the 2 columns. I have cut and paste some questions for you. So it says cut out the questions and stick them in your home learning book or it actually says Leating book. I'm going to have to go back in and change these. Hopefully I can change them before you print them off, and then you'll just see the mistakes on the video rather than on there, but we all make mistakes. So they're just like the ones that I've gone through. All right, I've gone through them on that PowerPoint. So you cut them out, stick them in your book, and then at the bottom of the page, I've given you some sentence stems to help you explain your answer. All right, hopefully I've made no more spelling mistakes in there. Okay, so that's you. Squares and pentagons, exactly the same. You've got to stick them in your home Leating book, which I will also go in and change. Change the spelling mistake. So you've just got some slightly different questions. So you've got all 6 to do. And then I've given you some sentence stems at the bottom to help you. And I've numbered them because these start with 4A, 4B, rather than number 1 because they're a different question. And then hexagons, I'm afraid it's all up to you. You've got the questions, but if you want to, obviously you could look at the other groups to look at some sentence stems to help you start. but yours just, I've got that slight more challenge to them. All right, so I'm going to stop now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to come back to you nice and big and say hello. And good luck with it all. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.